Hi Christy, it is Monday and I am back with my weekly update. So this week has been such a tiring week for me, as you can tell. I only have a little bit of concealer under my eyes, but I just woke up from a nap about 6 o'clock, sorry, more like 4:30, and then went down to the Kaiten sushi place. It's really good Kaiten sushi, like 105 yen for a plate of two sushi, which is so good. I got like 5 plates and it was only 525 yen. It's so good. But anyway, I went down, got sushi, came back, and then I realized, oh, I haven't done my Monday video yet. It's been such a crazy week that I totally forgot about it. This past week was my first week of graduate school, and I had homework as well as I had the Kanjani 8 concert this past weekend. But I was only able to go on Saturday and it was raining the whole time during that concert, and the boys were getting rained on the whole time, and I felt so bad. But before the Saturday concert, I get an email on my phone saying that Sunday's concert was canceled because of the impending typhoon. Now, normally Johnny's doesn't cancel concerts even if it's raining, but because it was a typhoon, it was high winds and the trains might have shut down, and they were concerned for the 55,000 fans who were coming in for the concert that day. They decided to cancel it, and Kanjani actually apologized during the concert that they had to cancel it. But they have other shows that they announced when they were in Tokyo. So they're going to be having Kyocera Dome concerts at the very end of the year. So I'm going to ballot for that, and hopefully I will hit for those tickets. The reason why I'm so disappointed is because I hit for H Block Arena tickets on the floor of the stadium, and I would have been right near the backstage where one of my favorite performances, Torn, was, and I was like, no. But anyway, that was the wrap up for this week, and now to go on to answer your question, which is culture shock when I first came to Japan. So in terms of culture shock, I'd been to Japan. This is my 6th time coming to Japan. My very first time coming to Japan was for 2 days. Second time was for 10 days. Third time was for about 3 weeks. Fourth time was for a month. Fifth time was studying abroad last year, which was for 4 months. And then this time I'm going to be here for 2 years. So I guess I didn't really have any culture shock per se the first 4 times that I went to Japan. So less than a month of being there, I really didn't experience any culture shock or anything like that. Just kind of getting used to talking in Japanese was the only hard part. But when I came to Kansai Gaidai for the 4 months last year, the hardest part about that was I was used to the first month, so I didn't have any culture shock or anything for the first month. But then I started to just get annoyed with just the littlest things. There are 2 types of culture shocks that I learned about when I had a class specifically about culture shock, not culture shock specifically, but about intercultural communication and stuff like that. And one of the big topics was culture shock. So there are 2 types of people. The first type is yours, who are more reserved, feels lonely. Then the second type is to get angry, lash out. I was the type to kind of break down and also get angry and lash out, because I did that when I didn't understand something. My first example of culture shock that it really didn't affect me that much, but just something that I just didn't understand about the Japanese culture at all, was when I opened a bank account up with my school. My school had a partnership with Mitsubishi Sumitomo Bank, and when they opened up the bank account was during orientation. And online, before I came to Kansai Gaidai, they said it would take 2 weeks to open. I'm like, okay, that's cool. When I get to Kansai Gaidai, in the session to create the bank account, they said 3 weeks. I'm like, that's a little bit cutting it short, because I wanted my bank account open before I made my trip to Tokyo to go see my friend. And I'm like, oh, it'll be close, but I think it'll be okay. So that time rolls around. It's about 3 weeks. I wasn't expecting it to be exactly on the day that it was supposed to be open, 3 weeks exactly from the day I opened my account. Of course I wasn't expecting that. But I went to the office and I asked them about my bank account, and they said, oh yeah, it's been created, but you can't get your bank book and your card for another week. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to be going to Tokyo, and I want my parents to transfer money to me from the account. And it was so annoying, and I just didn't understand. Number one was they open accounts every single semester for students. and I just didn't understand why, like, that whole point. And then they just didn't give me an explanation why. That's just the Japanese way of doing things. You don't give excuses. You don't have an explanation for things. You just say, oh, they can't do it. So that was a very good example. I got kind of angry, but I didn't lash out at them. I just didn't understand. So that was one of the main culture shock, or an example of a culture shock thing that I had in Japan. The other thing was more homesick than culture shock, I would say. Around Thanksgiving time, everybody was posting on their Facebooks, I'm going home for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And I obviously couldn't go home for Thanksgiving, and this was my first real Thanksgiving away from my family. So I kind of got a little bit lonely, and I didn't lash out or anything, but I kind of like broke down, and I was on Skype with my sister, my parents, and just like breaking down because I couldn't go home. But then shortly after that, I flipped the switch and I totally got over culture shock, but I had to go straight back home like 2 weeks after I got over all of my culture stuff, and it really stinks. So my question for you this week, Christy, is kind of on the same lines of culture and Japan and stuff. And my question is, what are the aspects of Japan that you hated the most? And what are the aspects of Japan that you loved the most? I know that I have plenty of things that I can go on and on and on saying that I love about Japan, but I also have a handful of things that I don't exactly like about Japan either. You can't exactly love every single aspect of a country, and I want to know what your dislikes and likes about Japan are, because I think that would be very interesting to see if like some of this, because we're both American, I think it would be interesting to see if it's like a culture thing, or if it is not a culture thing, or if it's just from our own personal perspectives and stuff. So I look forward to your video on Thursday, Christy, and I shall talk to you later. Bye-bye.